Now, many, if not all of us, are familiar with the tale of the young future king of Israel who stood up against the Philistine giant Goliath on the battlefield. And the story tells us how David, in the face of a boasting and intimidating foe, chose to stand up for his people, many of whom he didn't even know, and face off against the Philistine. This young shepherd boy who only arrived on the battlefield to bring rations to his soldier big brothers was now thrust into a confrontation because of the indignant words of the Philistine. Now, as the story goes, David hit the giant with one of the smooth rocks from his slingshot, knocking him to the ground and finishing him with a death blow. And the story tells us a lot about our own lives and our own disposition when we are faced with life's challenges. However, my friends, this story is not simply about the courage to face one's fears, but also to lean on the understanding of something far greater than we are to overcome what may seem like an unbeatable foe. Now, oftentimes when faced with fear, we really only have two options in life. You can fight or you can flee. And if you recall that story, the Israelites were so frozen in fear and in silence in the face of their tormentor until David's actions gave them strength. One young man. One man's strength was able to embolden an army. One man's courage was able to summon the resolve of a nation to fight back. One man's refusal to be silent against what he saw changed the face of history. So I'd ask you today, it only takes one. That one, hopefully, is in this room. It's in the back row, could be in the middle, could be in the front. But it only takes one to spark it. It only took one, as Congressman Norcross said, on that bloody day in Alabama and Selma. It only took one to say, I'm not going to sit on the back of the bus. It only took one to say, I'm a woman and I deserve the right to vote too. It always only takes one. So I ask you this evening, are you ready to be that one? In your heart, in your conviction, are you convicted to be that one to help change our communities? The one to say that intolerance has no place in our homes, in our communities. The one that says that bigotry based on gender, race, color, creed, orientation has no place in our community. The one to say that the America that we believe in, the America that we hold true, still epitomizes those sacred words emboldened on our Statue of Liberty, welcoming your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. It only takes one. Are you the one to stand in the face of discrimination and xenophobia, target against your neighbor, and say, not in my community? All of us are tired of seeing someone who prays differently having the same angst and issues and challenges that we face. So, my brothers and sisters, I will tell you, our moment is upon us. And if you declare yourself a child of God, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, or you're even agnostic to any faith whatsoever, please realize this. If we stand together as one, our communities will be stronger. Our nation will be stronger. And we as a people will always be stronger together. I'm going to leave you with this, and it's a story that's been going around the internet, and I know most of you have seen it because you all look like real technocrats, so I'm sure you've seen it. And the story is pretty simple. It talks about a general question, and the question is about when the fight for civil rights and women's rights were going on, and people always say, oh, I wish I was there. Well, I will tell you there's a fight going on right now. And whatever you're doing today is what you would have done then. So now your challenge is, and your chore is, what are you going to do now to make our communities the one community that it's supposed to be? You don't need a fancy speech. You don't need all of that. From now on, we stand together with one voice and say, in Burlington County, we stand together and we will always be stronger together. Thank you.